for was equal time. But the judge looked at me like a child was mine. Over and over, no matter how hard I try. Over and over, trust me, it ain't right. Not that I don't care. One day I know you'll see. About me, when you need me, I'll be right here, right here, right here. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, fighting for his son and all the children across the globe, a man that's no stranger to fighting. He's an ex-Marine and former two-time boxing champion of the world. Representing Casualties of War, Women and the Regime. He's the writer and director of the documentary and host of this radio show. With no further ado, I bring you
Yo, what's up, what's up? My name is Yaya McClain. If you ask me again, I'll tell you the same. Welcome to Casualties of War, Women and the Regime radio show. We are here. This is the Blackjack episode. This is the 21st episode of Casualties of War, Women and the Regime. Blackjack, baby. We did it big. And we got a really interesting... You know, every week, man, I say that it's a great show, but how can it be a great show when we're talking about such travesties happening on America's watch, on the government's watch, on our watch? But yet, we're here and we're fighters. This is what we do, so we keep fighting. So we keep bringing it to you live right here from Casualties of War, so that way you can understand what's going on. You can be awakened by the system and not lulled to sleep, and you can better have a better opportunity to fight for your God-given constitutional rights. So we have a great show today. I have my cousin, that's right, y'all, my cousin, Jeff Hodges. He's a man of many faces, but you will always see him with some scrubs on. He gonna fix your dog, fix your cat, and then write about it in a rap. No, he's the host of his own radio show, Young Man's Perspective. He's the founder of the magazine, Young Man's Perspective. And like I said, it's my cousin, Jeff Hodges. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
No doubt, no doubt. I appreciate you being here. Now, before we get started, I have to send a brief shout out to my sponsors, because without them, you know, this wouldn't be happening. So, of course, we want to shout out my boy Neil Shelton with the Future of Our Children Network, because we're right here on Blog Talk Radio as we go live on Facebook at the same time. And for those of you that want to call, that want to talk, the number is 516-387-1481. 516-387-1481, and press the number 1 button so that we know that you're there. All right. I also want to thank AVAX Digital. AVAX Digital is a full-service IT business. Go to look at my website, y'all. Casualtiesofwar.us. Casualtiesofwar.us. Look at the website, check out the work, and then shout out your boy AVAX Digital. And of course, my boys out in Vegas, 3 Point Tequila. You don't have to be a pro to take a shot. All right, y'all. We're here today with this Casualties of War radio show. And of course, remember, this is a radio show that's in conjunction with the documentary. The documentary will be released very, very soon. Very soon. All right, Jeff. We also have another guest, but we're going to bring her in a minute, I guess. We're going to let you kick your actual factuals, man, and just, you know, explain to everybody the situation that you're dealing with right now, what you've been going through, and how our next guest, Frankie-Lynn Hines. Frankie-Lynn Hines. I keep getting ready to say Frankie. Frankie-Lynn Hines. How important she is in everything that you get ready to go through and have gone through.
Absolutely. Well, you know, recently, I want to say about a month ago, I got a comment placed on my Facebook wall with a young lady with, you know, a profile with no picture, made a comment stating, you know, I'm your daughter's mother. So I'm like taken back because I didn't anticipate or even imagine who this could have been. Then she inboxed me and started giving me intimate details. So immediately I knew who it was. But then at the same time, I'm like, well, we didn't end on no note where that's the case. Like, for as I was concerned, there was no child of mine.
What do you mean you didn't end on a note?
Well, we was 17, and one thing led to another. She claimed that she was pregnant soon after, being an ignorant young youth, not knowing the math and the body works of a woman. I was doop, alright, you pregnant. Went home, told Mom Duke, moved her in, made my man plans, set myself up a job call, take a welding. I mean, I had this whole planned out. Did the process, signed the birth certificate for the child. I had my last name. I was set to go. So when you go off the job call, that initial time, you can't come home for the first 30 days. So prior to going, I did that paperwork was real significant, as you can imagine. And she constantly assured me she sent it off. All right. But I know that paper.
The paperwork to say that you was claiming that this was your child.
Putting the name, last name
on the birth certificate.
Yeah. So now I go and do my time in job call, get my first time to come home. Just 30 days later, I'm sitting in my room. But mind you, back up a minute. All along with this young lady, I always suspected something wasn't right, to the point I got physically ill. I wound up developing a ulcer. So now I'm like, your man Omar Epps in the movie, running around with a bottle of Google and drinking it every time because my stomach is on fire.
Right.
So I come home and we sitting in the room talking, and she's going through her purse like women do. She's just pulling out stuff, ain't paying attention. She already deceived me to think that she sent this paper off. I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm sitting from across the room. I'm blind as a bat, but that paper, as I said, was significant. She pulled it out. I was like, bing. I said, hold up. What's that? And she started the jabbing and the stuttering and all of that. Long story short, from that time frame, I realized then that for me solidified, this is not my child. You've been lying because you did what you were supposed to, and that paperwork would have been sent to go.
Right.
So immediately, her crib, baby, I put out and went about my life. But soon after that happened, my sister told me that her and my mom somehow found a letter in her purse. Supposed to have been for some dude in jail that said, you dead wrong, got this dude taking care of my baby. So for me, that just put the icing on the cake. I went about my business. 32 years later, I get this comment. So now she introduced me to the young lady. Her name is LaTwan. Now I get to seeing pictures. It's just too much similarities, too much behaviors and thought patterns. It was just like, that's my child. So we immediately set up, to take the test.
So what you do? What was your thoughts when that happened, man?
The connection was crazy. It's like, oh man, this bro, I got people seeing, it's like, it was been an amazing experience. Once we connected, like I said.
But how mad was you, man?
Nah, that's never played a part.
Nah? No, not years, mad at her.
At what? For what? I'm enjoying the moment. Like,
okay, that's what's up.
I put it to you like this.
That's beautiful.
I put it to you like this. Why I can say it so, matter of factly and casually, because I put out to you the universe. There was this young lady, it's a Jamaican lady, about 10 years ago, I want to say, maybe a little longer. We had a relation. She moved down here to Atlanta. But prior to that, she had got pregnant, had an abortion. Devastated. She moved out here to Atlanta. We reconnected. And something in my spirit was telling me that lady had a child of mine. So I put out to the universe, I got to find her. And then this happened with this daughter situation. So I'm mad. I'm like, wow,
Right. That's
so,
what's up.
Yeah, we've been communicating ever since, and like I said, the experience in itself is like, it's like overwhelming in a good sense, because it was a time where I got 4 other kids. They all grown and married, 3 sons and a daughter. And I went to see my oldest in Florida, with 2 sons, and I remember standing in the kitchen off to the side, and they was in the kitchen, I was standing off to the side watching them, and I didn't know my ex-wife was watching me, mouth wide open, and she reads and knows me. We've been together for so long. She's like, yep, that's right, they yours. And she was in my head, because that's why I was like tripping off of just the DNA, like having an out-of-body experience. Mm-hmm. And it's just the same thing with this young lady. It's like the discussions on the phone, and just, it's crazy, I'm like, I really don't need a test. But for those naysayers, no question, but for the naysayers and for all that nonsense, yeah, we'll do that. So we did it. and 15 out of the tests that they used, no, 13 out of 15 of the tests that they used came back. We are a match.
So why didn't it come back to 99.9%? You are the father.
That's a great question. So now that brings up your next guest, because her role was someone I didn't realize was amongst us in our camp who did that. And I kept talking about it, and she, learned about it, and we got to get a little deeper. I sent her over the report. Her experience has been, and I'm sure she'll share with you, that she's had where people have gotten experiences like myself, where you got a negative, and it's all about, when it comes to this testing, as long as there's humans involved, it's always subjected to some type of error first and foremost. Now you got to look at the quality of the place, or are they, what you call it, what's the word?
Accredited.
Accredited and all of that. You got to look into how and all complaints, just the whole, like anything else you're looking for, you search it out. So this particular place said that it was, comes off like they're accredited, but when I give it to your next guest, she already sees from the start the document that they sent me didn't even state that they was accredited. And that's a first and foremost when they submit these paperwork to you. So that already allowed me to know that there was something with that little situation. So immediately she began to tell me how she used to do it and what she could do for me. And actually, I learned that our situation, my daughter and I, inspired her to start her whole business back up that I'm sure she's going to share with you when you let her know this discussion.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. So how long ago was that you got the 13 out of 15?
About 2.5 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah, as soon as we connected, like I said, it's been a month, and we talk like every day, hours on hours. Talk to her kids. Here's another. Like her daughter looks like how my daughter looks at her age. Her 8-year-old looks how my 8-year-old used to look.
Right.
My daughter's grown now.
Right.
I mean, it's just too much. It's
right.
So
want to get that official issue stamp.
Yeah,
Boom.
exactly. We're going to do that.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, so let's bring on the next guest. Frankie, are you there?
I'm here.
Absolutely. All right, so I want to introduce you to our audience. Matter of fact, so I don't mess it up, I'm going to let Jeff do it. No, we got Frankie-Lynn Hines. And exactly, tell everyone what it is that you do and what's your title.
Okay, I'm a nurse out of Ohio, but I did paternity testing for 14 years, but initially went to work for a doctor. So I got into this business back in 1996. And so what I do is I broker with like the main laboratory, and I'm a collection site. I get my own clients, or sometimes clients are sent to me by attorneys, or the lab itself will call me, and so I do the collection. I'm the person that makes it legal, that makes sure it's collected right, and that the chain of custody is not broken. And so I ship them off, and once the lab gets them, they test them, and they send me back the reports as well as the client.
Right. So tell me, Jeff was talking about, how did you two hook up? You in Ohio and all that?
Because I'm live on Iliad with real sexy and young man's perspective.
Okay. That's right.
We all do just what you're doing. We all collaborate and work our businesses together. And when Jeff told me about, we all talked, so he told me what he was going to do, and he was waiting on reports. So when he got it back, I asked him if I could read it. And looking at his report, I noticed that they ran it through 15 systems. See, the way DNA testing works is you get half your DNA from your mother and half from your father, right?
Right.
So when they run it through these systems, let's just say, it's kind of hard to explain, but I'll just say it like this. Like, if the child's in the middle and the mother's on one side, the father's on the right side, in this case, it's just Jeff's and so half of her DNA profile should match half of his in numbers. So if she has a 13 and a 14, all he needs to have is one or the other, a 13 or 14. He should match on half his DNA profile down half of hers.
your brother. I know it sounds kind of raunchy and to make it sound like that's the type of woman she was. I'm just saying that he matched with somebody in the system. It made it appear like there was a close relative that could possibly be the child's father. So I asked him, and because these are the kind of questions you want to know. And so he said no, that no brother lived. Is that right? Jeff, you told me no, right?
Now, right. Now, I told you.
Right?
I told you at the time, nobody was around us. She wasn't around my people at the time. So, now.
Okay, right.
Oh, yeah,
So,
none of that time frame.
So I just offered him a second opinion because I think she did her own collection, and Jeff, I think he went to a collection site and had them do it. But because she did her own collection, that's a non-legal test, meaning that there's a chance that it could be tampered with in some way, shape, or form. So there's not a person in the middle that keeps that chain and making sure that everybody's identified and so on, pictures are taken and all that, because it's real strategic in how they package up these DNA samples. So I said, well, let's give you a second opinion. I just think you deserve that and get a legal one done. And so I offered to do their second test.
Wow. That's crazy. No, he's a.
Yeah, because I'm like, you deserve it. Because he was so shocked. I kind of feel his disappointment in her. And I just felt like they deserve to have a second opinion. Because I'm just thinking maybe possibility, the way she collected it, the way she swabbed the inside and out, maybe she didn't get a good enough sample. I'm just concerned about that. So I'm just thinking, let's just do a second test and have it legally done and see what comes back. Cause, and he's saying that, she looks so much like him or his daughter or something. So it's real tricky because the story's kind of crazy and it's just like, well, let's just get a second opinion. Yeah, just like you would in the medical field anywhere else, especially if the results don't come out the way you expected it. It's okay to get a second opinion.
Now let me ask you a question. Now, let me ask you a question. So, with this line of work that you do, have you ever ran into a statute of limitations?
In the sense of, like, what? Give me an example.
You took too long to get the swab to claim that this is your child. So now, it's not your child.
Yeah. Okay, what do you mean? Like you said, like
okay, so
they waited too long to have the DNA test?
Right. Like in California, this is dude named Michael Lazarin, whose daughter ended up actually committing suicide. Wow. And they it's a documentary on Netflix about it. It really doesn't tell the truth. Wow. It really doesn't tell the truth about what happened either, though. But anyway, Michael Lazarin was the biological father, and when they had the child, he didn't never legitimize it or get the DNA and everything done within that 7 years. And so there's a law that he is still not the biological father.
What was the black thing you said? It was a law that because he waited over 7 years.
Right. That they don't legally look at you as the father.
So he never sat in paternity with the child.
No, and the cold part was the mother's husband at the time filed a lawsuit, a wrongful death lawsuit, and he got over $1 million, and he wasn't even the father. So I don't remember now.
Because whenever there's a death, it's like the next of kin is the one that can release the morgue to allow us to go in there. Now I've done that. We go in there and have a spot card done, and then we send that on.
Well, I was wondering if. Yeah. I was just wondering if, in this case, it's been so long, could there ever be something to come up like that?
I've never had it happen to me, and each state does have their own laws. So, I'm just wondering, I don't know his case and all that, but I've never had that problem because we just jumped right on it. Like, we've never had that problem. Like, I've had a girl that was pregnant, and the spot card done from the morgue. Because they draw everybody's blood before, they put you in the ground and all that stuff. So I've had a case like that, but never like the case that took place out of California.
Right.
Well, really what happened in that situation, it's really, the children at birth are really signed over to the states. That's what the birth certificate represents. The mother is termed as an agent before she's termed as a mother. So what happens is this contract called birth certificate or certificate of birth, you sign the child over to the state saying that you'll receive some type of benefits if ever in need. And 9 times out of 10, most of the parents that's forming themselves is based off of reckless recreation. So it's not off of a courting, dating, get married type situation and become a family. The family kind of burst into it based on recreation. So,
phone is breaking up. Like I'm hearing every other word.
So that's what happens.
I thought I was hearing some music or something.
Michael's son may be,
Right.
Michael's daughter may have been looked at as a ward of the state, is why he wasn't granted his legal position.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
So what you gonna do now with Cuzzo?
Well, you got me stuck on that case, but because you just never know, like, who's on the birth certificate. Let me just stop real quick. Anybody can go downtown and get anybody's birth certificate as long as you have their first, last name, and date of birth and the hospital they were born in, and you can find out who's on the birth certificate. Because a lot of times there is a lot of games being played because the mother is there at the hospital. If you weren't there and all that, you just don't know. They can tell you anything. So, as far as with Jeff's case, they are adults. She's an adult child now. She can sign for herself, plead for herself. We're just going to set him up in a laboratory to do the collection in Atlanta and her out of New York. And then they're going to wait for their samples to get to the lab, and we're going to retest them.
Right.
So they won't be doing their own collections. This will be a legal test.
Oh, so that's what happened. The last time it wasn't.
Yeah, she did it. What happened was I went to the lab here in Atlanta, and Atlanta sent her a kit, and she did it herself. So like you said, she probably wasn't vigorous enough. I mean, the numbers just say it's all kind of suspect manners going on,
Right. So.
Right. So go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So, okay, you had spoke, like, Jeff, you were talking about, she was supposed to fill out the paperwork to have your name put on there, was never sent off, correct?
Right.
Then this child gets adopted out, correct?
Oh yeah, that's another half of the story. The moms lost her.
Oh my God.
The natural moms never raised her. She lost her at like 6 years old. She just found her last year and just found me last
Wow.
month.
Yeah, you lost it. You left that part out.
No, she lost custody of her daughter.
It's so much, yo.
Wow. That's.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Yes.
So are you saying she lost custody of her daughter?
Yeah. She lost custody, like I just said. She recently linked up with her last year. She lost her at like 6 years old. So you can imagine it's just a whirlwind of just emotions involved. Like, that's not my mother. Don't call her my mother. I got to go through that. Like, my fault. The lady that birthed you is saying X.
Wow.
So I got to respect that, though, because even in this year she's connected with her, she hasn't went to see her. So, you got guilt and hurt you dealing with her at the same time taking people through,
Right.
extra unnecessary.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah.
Well, let me start here, because this is where it usually starts, and I'm really kind of disappointed in the whole, I'm hurt, like I feel my client's emotions, like I feel his emotion and her emotions. It's disappointing.
Right.
You feel like you don't have all the pieces to the puzzle, and I feel like this might be one of those things, like, because possibly y'all do have a lot of features, but it's like, wow, there's a lot of little details in here. Because see, what would have happened is, if you was on that birth certificate, when they were giving her for adoption, they would have had contact you.
Exactly.
Yep.
See, so her not putting you on that birth certificate really upsets me because you lost out on time that this could have been resolved a long time ago.
A long time ago. Exactly.
That's what I was talking about being mad about. But I'm not going to try to talk you into being mad.
Right, because I have to consider that her prospective daughter may be on this call, and I don't want to say anything hurtful or anything like that. So most of the things that I said, I just said to him because I'm trying to get the details. But how we gonna get the details? We're gonna retest it. Period.
Right.
And whatever backstory it is, hopefully it all comes together to make sense. But it's just a lot. Just not being on the birth certificate. You were supposed to be on there. This child got, put up for adoption. It sounds like she had great parents that took care of her, which is good because it doesn't always turn out like that.
No.
So let's start at the beginning. Really, let's be honest. When they passed the Welfare Reform Act law back in 1996, the reason why it's called the Welfare Reform is because anybody accepting any type of assistance from the county as far as welfare benefits, they want to make sure there is a father on that birth certificate. So they bring the woman in, they ask her, who could possibly be the father? Because he needs to pay child support. So sometimes they try to keep, their boyfriend out of the system. So they just give up anything. So they exclude all these people. She'll just be like, I don't know. You know what I mean? But if she said, well, he's incarcerated, that's how I got in this business. I went to the prison system all over the state of Ohio and support orders for DNA testing. Most times, men didn't even know their name. They didn't like women like that. They didn't know their last name, none of that. And so I would go in there and educate them on how to protect them. So let's just say that, you get a court order in the mail, and you say, you know what, I know who that is. She was a XYZ, the name that y'all call it. And I ain't going down there. I know exactly who that is. I ain't going down there. Well, she put somebody else, and he'd be like, 3 kids, go down there. If you don't go down there, and nobody else is found to be the father, then you're found the father to be the default. And you automatically go on the birth certificate. So then you'll start paying attention when child support contacts you and says, hey, you have to pay child support on this child. That's when I used to get the call when the guy's like, wait a minute, I wasn't even looking at that address anymore.
So without taking the DNA test, without signing the birth certificate, and without being there, you can end up being a father.
How about that?
Found the father to be the default.
Right.
But you did not show up. And if somebody else found the father, then you didn't show up and you're found the father through default. And it could be, because this is what I find. Some people say, I didn't live at that address anymore. That's why I didn't know I had to go to court. Stuff like that. Like, well, how did you get this court order that you paying child support now?
Right.
So a lot of times it's just being ignorant of the system and not knowing that they're serious, like they're not playing. And as part of that law is if you don't pay, I was reading yesterday, that they can make you, they can take your driver's license. Things like that. It's just so foul. And so, let's just say a girl gets pregnant, blah, 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 she don't even want you to be part of it. Most people see it's a catch-22 because if she's receiving welfare, you want to know the truth. But then once you get in the system, you're in the system.
Right.
So you can go down there and child support and request the DNA test. And they'll do it up front for you. Most times they'll do it up front for free. But if you're found the father, then they'll implement it into your child support payment.
Right.
But see, that's why most people don't want to go down there because they let me try to go outside the system and say, hey, can you do our DNA test? If the mother agrees, we can do it. But if she's the custodial parent or the legal guardian over the child, she has to be there to sign. And that can sometimes be a problem too. She doing, I ain't doing no DNA test, not doing it. Well, why not? So then that's another thing. Let me talk to her. Why aren't you doing a DNA test? Because I know it's a long time ago. It just goes back and forth being like, look, don't you think you deserve to know the truth?
Right.
Well, why don't we just go down and do it down there? Because don't nobody want to be in a child support system. you see how this thing goes?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
I mean,
it's a mess.
This thing makes me so mad because here we are. Okay, so I'm sitting side by side right here with Jeff, and he hasn't been allowed the opportunity to be in his daughter's life, if in fact it is his daughter, which we believe it is. And here I am fighting tooth and nail to be in my son's life, and I'm not allowed to.
Right.
You know what I mean? So And that's the purpose of this radio show and the documentary, is because, you know, the world needs to know that there's a lot of what they call deadbeat dads that are, you know, that everyone knows about that. Everyone is familiar with that term. That's the term that they put forth. That's the term that they put out there. But there are way more fathers that want to be in their children's life than fathers that don't.
Oh yeah, that term is called beat dad dead.
Exactly.
Instead of dead beat dad. That's it, beat dad dead. I said that term is called beat dad dead.
Yeah, oh wow. Now that's something different. Mm-hmm. You know, and to be honest with you, I'm in this business really for everybody, but I advocate for the men. Because I see what was happening. And it was happening a lot. I had a case, I was not but I'll tell you all, a guy was paying child support on, and it wasn't a boy, it was actually a girl. She's like 15 years old, but the mother was moving out, you know, she's in the service, so she was in and out of the state. And every time he tried to see his daughter, it was like she was dodging him. So he contacted her, like, look, I want to be, you know, see my daughter. And spend some time with her. Matter of fact, I want to see an test because she dodged me so much. You got me questioning if I'm even the father.
Right.
So he called me and I said, if she agreed to do it, you know, because he signed the birth certificate being a good guy, quote unquote, signed the birth certificate. So she tells him, if I get this DNA test, I need you to sign this document and get it notarized to say that if you're not the father, you still pay child support. I said, what? If you sign that document, I'm going to be mad at you. Don't sign that document. So I knew right then and there. So at this point, he had paid $90-something thousand in child support.
Wow.
$90-something thousand. He had a good job. So when we did the DNA test, it came back, he was not the father. When I tell you he had paid, it was like $93,000. And he was so mad, you know, and I'm like, at this point, you know, it's a legal situation because he signed the birth certificate. So let me just say this, before you sign a birth certificate, there's a form called an acknowledgement of paternity. It says, if you're not sure you're the dad, you can read it, and most men, people don't read. It says, before you sign this birth certificate, you need to sign this acknowledgement of paternity. If you are not sure you're the father, you do not sign this form, right?
Right.
Because, and it says, if you have 60 days to contest this, if you know, don't agree with it. Well, by 60 days, you know all this legal paperwork. It is very hard to get a test, contact the health department, the birth certificate department, and try to get this stuff reversed. So I said, don't even sign it yet. Don't sign anything. Don't sign it at all. So they do that from the time the child was born right in the hospital. They got the social workers in there pushing for that form to be signed for you to acknowledge paternity. I'm saying to them, you're saying if you sign that form, you acknowledge that you're the biological father of that child. Mm-hmm. Why would you sign that form if you're just not 100% sure? Now, if this ain't your wife or somebody you trust, like, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I want to sign a legal document.
Right.
So I've gone in the hospital, too. I test babies in the hospital, too. And I'll go in a NICU and test the baby. I get gowned up, go in there and test the baby. 2 or 3 days later, they get the results back, and everybody's at peace. Because you got to understand, there's grandmothers involved,
Right.
grandfathers. There's a lot of people involved. It's not the mother and the father. You know what I mean? Siblings. So it's just that, and women get offended, and they shouldn't. When a man says, "Do you mind? I would like to have a paternity test." Not that I don't trust you. It's just I want to be sure we're not married. You understand what I'm saying? Why does there have to be an argument about it? So if you get a woman pregnant, you need to put aside about $450 to $450.
You need to put a whole lot more than that. You get a woman pregnant, you need to put a whole lot more than that.
No, I'm talking about the DNA test to have that done.
Right. I got
After the child is born. So should the guy be there for the woman? She says, you know, yeah. You say I'll be there as much as I can and support you, but when the baby's born, I want a DNA test. So I had to 20 months before. Then they said, oh, in a couple weeks the baby's going away. I said, okay, you can still come to the hospital, sure. They'll call me. She's at St. Anne's, Riverside. I said, okay. And I'll get the mother on the phone. I'll say, is it okay to come in? Or I'll talk to the hospital, let them know I'm coming in. So we get it done. But see, like in Jeff's case, weigh it out. Back then, just to be honest, 32 years ago, if stuff wasn't readily available like that, they went by typing, blood type, stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, and but the whole process of all the paperwork, of all these different rules that people are putting on us, that when they are infringing upon our constitutional God-given rights, our God-given rights. These are our children that we are having, that we are creating. God blessed us with that. And for them to be allowed to come in and infringe on that is only for one reason. It's the pure sake of financial gain. So that's why they have these, Title 4D of the Social Security Act, which creates a need for child support so that they can, most of the time it's the father, so they alienate one parent from the other, which is normally the father. And then that creates that need for child support, and through that collection process, the state gets such a kickback that it is turned into a $50 billion a year industry. And I mean, along with Title 4E, putting the kids in foster care, all these things just incentivizes corruption, collusion, and this is what the purpose of the show is, to bring people on to talk about these things so that we can, one, raise awareness so that more people can educate themselves. And I believe that once the masses knows about this, we're going to show up in front of the bully's house one day like, yo, we're not going for this no more. And then that's when the change is going to happen. And I don't think it has to be, I just think that the masses need to know about it. So this is some very enlightening information. And let's just do this real quick before we forget. Let's give people both your info, where they can find you guys and reach out if they have someone that needs a test or they want to talk to you, Jeff, or whatever.
Right.
Let's do that.
All right. You can definitely find me at YMPmedia1
You need another W.
You got to have 3 W's.
That's what it is. Add my extra W's. 3 of them YMPmedia.com. And yes, you can definitely reach out. You can learn all about what we do over there with the magazine and radio show and how we look to empower 1 million young black males. So
yeah, we're gonna get to that in 1 second. We're gonna let you go ahead and go through that. All right, Frankie, why don't you give them your info real quick where they can reach you?
Okay, they can reach me if they're in Columbus. It doesn't matter. We have 2,400 websites all over the United States. So if you're in another state, it's okay. 394-4834, or you can reach out to me at Paternity Services of Ohio on Facebook and message me. It doesn't cost you to call in or leave a message. Leave me your situation, I'll get back with you.
Okay, say those numbers again. Speak slowly and say them individually.
Okay, it's 614-394.
Hold on.
4834.
Frankie, I said slowly and individually. Do it one more time. 614 394 4834. All right, we got it.
Yes.
And where's the website?
Yes, they can reach out. Actually, they can reach out on Facebook to Paternity Services of Ohio. It's on Facebook, or they can email me at paternityservices@gmail.com. So either way.
Paternity Services of Ohio on Facebook and Paternity Services
of Ohio.
And then on
Paternity Services of Ohio at Gmail.
Paternity Services of Ohio at Gmail. Got you.
And real quick, I want to say that there is a 1 to 2 day turnaround. So once the lab receives their specimen, we get the results back in 1 to 2 business days.
1 to 2 days, you can know if you are the father.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to be serious. That's right, though. That's right. That's the way it goes.
And
So that's what we're all about.
We got to bring some laughter and bring some light to this situation, because it's a travesty, on so many different levels, that the government is actually holding us hostage and just, abusing us the way that they are. you know, taking our money, keeping us from our kids, creating a perpetual custody battle or perpetual divorce for the pure sake of financial gain, and in turn, everyone is affected by this. In one way or another, the whole society is affected by this.
Keep this in mind, though. Keep this in mind. You have to give consent. Somebody's giving consent for this to even take place. So as long as the reckless recreation can be put into a comprehensive balance, this wouldn't even go on. But somebody creates this momentum. And what happens is, when it falls into the man's world, the men, just behind how information is disseminated, you think that you have to go along with these concepts. And I'm one of those situations that I'm here to tell you, you don't have to go with that. See, what they do, they use words to confuse you. You end up giving your power away by feeling scared. So a lot of people that's subjected to this experience, not just in Jeff's situation where he didn't even know, or in Yaya's situation where somebody deliberately do kidnappings, because I even went through that. But when you go into the court, it's a way that you handle the information, how you approach this banking system. Because as Yaya said, it is a $50 billion+ a year business. Like, it's cold-blooded what they're doing, but we need to stop practicing parasitical behaviors while trying to have reckless forms of recreation, knowing that you have no tolerance and or skill set with bearing fruit. And that's really what it comes down to. We've learned how to monetize being reckless during recreation. You dig what I'm saying? And because of the way that the men has been utilized in the structure of our social standards, you know what I mean? A lot of us shipped off the war. A lot of us get intoxicated with certain variables. You know what I mean? Some get murdered just out the gate. But these practices were to aid women, first white women, then it followed off into our communities of melanated people. So we got to learn the language. Once we learn the language and pay attention to how we're really rocking with each other, we can eliminate this process. You dig what I'm saying? But we got to take responsibility for even interacting outside of ourselves.
But we can't take responsibility until we all become aware. So that's my whole purpose, is raising awareness. Well, listen, Frankie, I don't want to hold you. I want to thank you for your time today, sharing your information with us.
Salute, Frankie.
Salute, future.
Salute, future.
All right, Frankie.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. And anybody that hears this call, you're welcome to just call in and ask a question. It doesn't cost to answer questions. Just get your questions answered. You know, and don't let a woman punk you, and don't let the system punk you.
That's right.
So get your questions answered. I just want to be honest about it, because you don't back down and listen to people like, you know, your show. I appreciate this. I appreciate you allowing me to come on. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so Jeff, go ahead and tell us about Young Man's Perspective and what it is that you do and why you do what you do.
Oh, that's a good question. We definitely wanted to create a platform all about, you know, transformation, coming from that street life and making bad choices, and, you know, the end game to that. So after awakening and making some changes, you know, the opportunity came about working with some youth down in Macon, creating a platform where we wanted to help them with their communication skills and their entrepreneur dreams and all of that such. So it kind of came off of just looking to create a voice for them. We started off with the radio show online, and the magazine was born soon after, and we've been pushing it ever since. You know, we started out in 2013, and this will be our 6th edition, and we're looking to do real big things with it, you know. So it's just all about the great content and information with all our contributing writers who come on board, the stories. You know, we talk about cats that's ran the streets. One cat that we're real excited about featuring, the name Shaka Sinclair. We just had him on the show the other night. You know, his story is amazing. He go from murdering somebody and doing 19 years and coming home, whole change of mindset. He's now bestseller author. Oprah Winfrey and him was like this, rocking out. You know, she blew his book up. He's doing something with the Greenleaf. He got so many programs he's doing. I'm just in awe just watching just what transformation can do, and that's what my platform is all about.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So you like to help the youth, not necessarily trouble you,
Not necessarily, not at all.
but just help give guidance.
That's it. Tapping into your best potential is the objective. Like maybe you need a little
And so,
steering.
why do you think you went down the wrong path?
I mean, so many variables to that. You know, we can talk about not having a father in the home, but I love how.
Bingo!
Before we jump on it though, but I love how Dick Gregory said Hitler had a father-in-law. So I mean, it depends. You know, environment. You know, you making choices.
No, but just because Dick Gregory said Hitler had a father.
No, I mean, as a point to say.
Now, let's just go.
A man in the house. You know.
Now we got to go to
Yeah.
facts and stats.
Right.
So if you got one dude doing this
Mm-hmm.
versus a billion,
Right.
that mean nothing. I mean, you know, the stats show it. I mean, 90% of youth in prison were raised by single moms.
Yeah, no doubt.
85% of rapists were raised by single moms.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I mean, I could go on and on and on about statistics of what happens when, you know, a child is raised without his father. You know, the majority of America's social ills are due to fatherless homes.
Oh, no
You know,
question.
now I'm not saying that someone, because I know someone that had both parents
And act it out.
and did everything he wasn't supposed
Exactly.
to do. And then I know someone that was raised by their mother that turned out great. Oh, I'm talking about me. But then I know people that were raised by their mother, that were raised by their father, that turned out terrible.
Right.
I know some people like that. So I'm saying that the majority of the time, a large majority, not 55, 45, I'm talking about 85, 15, is a fatherless home.
See now why I would add to that couldn't just be a simple answer to it, because one, think about it. A single mother can only do what she can do with her income. So that would only put her in a set environment. So would it be the single mother that's playing the role that you got your numbers from, or would it be mostly the environment they're forced to live in based off their incomes or the lack thereof?
Well, you're dating it. So now you're going back. So because the women make the same, if not more money today. So you can't go by their financial.
I'm coming from my generation to add back to your question.
Okay, well,
Because
you know,
my mom's did an amazing job, rest in peace, but it was more my decisions. I think about that car we stole and she laid in that bed and she said, I told you to leave that car alone, and I came in there changing clothes so because you heard us crash. It's just
see, this is why this is so bad. Because even though you're grown now and you are intelligent and you can think and put thoughts together, it still hasn't hit you how you were affected. Because you are sitting here trying to reason with why you did steal that car. Had you had a father, you may not have done that.
Or
you would have had another someone there to guide you down the right
could have
path.
just had somebody that would done me no good.
Or you could have had something like that. But the majority of the time, if you take a child that was raised in the ghetto with both parents, then you take the child that was raised in the ghetto with just his mom. Look at their lives and watch how they go and see which directions they go. 9 out of 10 times, the child that was raised without his father is going to live a rough life.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Again, you got to think about equations in real practical, not gratifying, right? As far as trying to make it fit your mold. There is the way we all eat information is going to dictate how you navigate.
Yeah, but if you have somebody there guiding you,
let me show you, King. It's not a debate. I'm adding to the concept to see how the color is really going to radiate. Because what happens is, even though we get to call people parents, before they was our parents, as I often tell my son, I was me before I was your father. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So just because you had a father or a mother, they could be cornballs for whatever reason. Like my moms didn't want to be a mom. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
but the bottom line is the stats show the proof. You guys are talking about one-offs.
The stats are coming from. Hold up. The stats are coming from.
The stats are coming from my research.
Hold up, King. Hold up.
Stats are coming from my research.
Mine is that being the truth. You gotta just weigh it. It's a scale situation. It's not about an emote. It's a very aware inventory that we gotta look at. What's taking place is we eat information that we don't author, and we hold value for things we don't create. Those stats don't really have a relevance for real.
Absolutely,
Feel what I'm saying, King? Feel what I'm saying? Jeff came, like, y'all, we cousins. Like, y'all cousins. Y'all distilling this, the whole everything. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
It's the people outside, like, the parent thing, that's one concept, because that's the really trying to be a training wheel. The people you associated yourself with. Jeff got slick at certain skill sets because of the peers. It ain't had nothing to do with the parental. Go ahead.
Listen. It has to do with the parental, because if there's a father in the home with rules and regulations, you don't have those friends. You don't adopt those things.
False.
You don't even take those types of thoughts.
I was raised by my pops, and my pops was the iron hand, like boom, 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 boom.
Listen,
Let me tell you, homie.
There's
the
different
concept
cases.
of influence. Feel me?
There's different cases.
I'm not arguing that, but
Yeah, you
you
are.
can't. No. I'm showing you how to also look through this lens. I don't want to take away what you know as your is. I can't throw your food on the floor. You eat from that. What I'm saying is, what I'm able to recognize through the lens is that we make choices based off of how we were introduced to interpret forms of gratification. Your peer group is based off of comforts and/or acceptance, so you start making choices to be accepted.
Let me
Go ahead.
Listen. First of all, there was a man in my house who so-called raised me. Came to my life when I was 2. Check it. Very abusive to beating my mom's bloody out the house naked. Abusive to beating little kids and all of that. Abusive to, this is why it's not so much as the parent like he's saying. This is where I'm going to tell you from personal experience. Because of what was taking place in my house, now watch the trickle effect. I go to school, I act out. I create a paper trail. I create this paper trail from the school to prison pipeline. Mm-hmm. All environmental, all about my situation. There was a man in the house. So my choice is
biological father.
Doesn't matter.
That part.
Because any man could be a father.
Absolutely, man. It has absolutely everything to do
There's
with
men who's been great raising kids that's not theirs, and then there's men
I
who's
don't doubt
not
that.
their kids.
Those
terrible.
are coincidences or one-offs or freak of natures. That's not the majority. The majority of the time, a father is, God set it up this way. For a father and a mother to love and nurture a child together.
To bear fruit.
That is where it was set up.
But then we turned it into a reckless practice.
So the
now
majority of the time, they are going to work together correctly. They're going to want the best for the child.
In that concept, in real life, you are a person meeting a person that already has an appetite.
They created a life.
You practice your life a certain way based off of how you're going to receive.
Okay, we're running out of time.
Okay,
we're going to agree to disagree. We're going to agree to disagree.
We're going to pick back up on this one. Yeah, I'll stay with it. Yeah, come on.
All right, listen, y'all. I want to thank my guest, Jeff. And go jump over here, man. This was the man that y'all couldn't see. It's your boy Digger Dane.
Future.
He live from Iliad.
You know it.
And this is Jeff Hodges from Young Man's Perspective. And I'm Yaya McClain from Casualties of W, Women and the Regime. I want to thank you all for tuning in. And next week we'll be right back. Next week we're not gonna be so heated. All right, Neil. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank my sponsors, Neil Shelton, for allowing us this opportunity. The Future of Our Children Network. For everybody out there on Facebook Live, listening and calling in. And I want to thank AVAX Digital, AVAX Digital at avxdigital.com, a full-service IT business. If you want to go check out a website that you think is dope, go to casualtiesofwar.us and then hit them up. And I want to thank my boys out in Vegas, 3-point tequila. You don't have to be a pro to take a shot. All right, y'all. This is your boy, Yaya McClain. Neil, take us out of here. They hit me with a TV. Get out to the car. Do the crew. Oh man, I forgot to shout out my boy Crew. That's what I forgot. Yo, my boy Crew. This is who you hear right now in this song. Go to YouTube on KRUE TV. And the voice, Vince the Voice Bailey. That's the dude that's the ringer boy, the ring announcer you about to hear. Taking us out of here. Vince Bailey on Facebook, y'all. Of the world.
Representing Casualties of War, Women and the Regime. He's the writer and director of the documentary.
Documentary coming soon.
With no further ado, I bring you Yaya McClain.